Hey everybody, Real Estate Ninja here. I hope you're doing great. We're going to talk about a tweet thread that I read earlier and I want to share it with you, and I think it's very important. It comes from Lance Lambert. I want to give credit where credit's due, and it's about the Austin housing market. Now, even though you're not living in Austin, you don't want to live in Austin, you never thought about moving to Austin, we need to use Austin as an example. Why? Because Austin was one of the hottest markets in this last upswing in the real estate market, and you are going to witness firsthand its collapse. It's already started. It's magnificent, quite frankly, and it's supposed to show you what's going to happen in your local area. Now, what I want to dispel is a couple of myths. Really, the main myth was when Dave Ramsey came out and said that real estate has only crashed once before, and it only happened for a few months, and that was in a couple of cities. That is absolutely false. The average selling price of a home in 2008 fell across the board. They all fell, all right? Some less than others, but everything fell. Why? Because we were in a recession, a great recession. Lending was super tight, people were not buying, and sellers were taking concessions on homes, right? Now, this actually happens quite frequently. About every 7 to 10 years, we have price swings. They go low, they drop in price, and they come back up, right? A lot of it's tied to interest rates and mortgage rates. But this one is completely different. We're talking like the mother of all bubbles. We have multiple financial bubbles lining up for a perfect storm that is going to lead to not only swings in prices much lower, but we're going to see much higher mortgage rates that we have not seen in literally probably the past 35, 40 years. So check this out. Here's the tweet thread. The most interesting, and you know what, real quick, if you're interested in learning about these cycles and how to prepare for this real estate crash, I'll put a 70% off link below to the real estate crash course. The most interesting housing market, he says, in America is Austin. During the 2000s crash, it took Austin 43 months to fall 8.5% from peak to trough. This time around, Austin has fallen 10% in just 9 months. And this is that information is out of Fortune.com, okay? So literally, this is how fast we've seen this. And it's not just Austin. We've seen San Francisco sales prices of homes drop over 30% since June. So in the last 12 months, this is staggering, okay? The speed at which this is happening even blows my mind, all right? And we have only seen the beginning. Why? Because mortgage rates are going to go higher from here. It says here, among the nation's 400 largest markets or housing markets, 226 just hit their all-time high for home prices in April of 2023. Now, let me stop right there and just say that that is based on very, very low inventory levels, okay? So you have people that are racing out because they're afraid to go and that they're going to miss out on this housing bubble, and they're only able to get those with 40-year mortgages, down payer assistance, and things like that, okay? So literally, like, oh, and if you have bad credit, we won't fine you, just get in. They're looking for all the dumb money to finally wring out this market, okay? So people need to understand where we are in this cycle. Among the other 174 markets, 38% are down by 5% or more. Now, I believe, and this is just if my memory serves me right, the nation's average was around 5% loss through all of the 2000s crash, okay? From like 2005 to 2011, 2012, that area. So we are already down that across the board, okay? And these are in 174 markets. 38% of them are already down 5%. Austin is down over 10%. It's 10.02%. That's down the most, right? It says here, the 2000s Sunbelt housing crash had, relatively speaking, one exception, the Lone Star State. Peak to trough, home prices in markets like Austin and Dallas only fell negative 8.5% and negative 10.5% respectively, while house prices tracked by ZHVI, I don't actually know what that acronym is for, fell negative 63.9% in Las Vegas and negative 56% in Phoenix. That is impressive. That is a big deal. Remember, but that is the 2000s crash. This is going to be bigger and better. Why? That last crash was built on mortgage rates being around where they are now, we are going to go higher from here, okay? This is a big deal. This is going to get exciting. While zealous lenders across the nation were allowing borrowers to take on mortgages without putting much down, Texas stuck with conservative lending practices during the 2000s. According to a Texas A&M real estate center that helped markets like Austin avoid the worst of the recession, the worst of the housing crash. Texas was slow to allow home equity lending, and when it did so in 1997, it restricted the totals of all mortgage debt from exceeding 80% of the home's fair market value. And that's true because around the country, especially in California, they went well over that. As a matter of fact, I even saw some companies doing over 100% loan to value on their home equity lines, okay? It was absolute chaos. It says, and while markets like Las Vegas and Phoenix boomed in the 2000s, markets like Austin stayed fairly tame. To some degree, that helped insulate Austin from the 2000s crash. It still came down pretty significantly, but now it's this booming metropolis that has literally far exceeded what it did in the early 2000s as far as price appreciation. So that's why you're going to see places fall like that. Now, Las Vegas, to me, is still going to be the greatest crash and the greatest opportunity for people to buy up cheap housing and to be able to rent it out, right? With Nevada's tax-free laws, income tax-free, you're going to see so many opportunities for people to dive into that market, but not after everyone is shooken out. So I think Vegas is going to be quite an opportunity out there. Now it says here, that type of home price appreciation, especially when it's driven by outside money pouring in, puts a strain on fundamentals. Once mortgage rates spiked in 2022, that went from strain to pain, and Austin moved into correction mode. Some Austin investors, as the boom went on, were buying properties that weren't cash flowing that can feed into a correction. Zoomed out, markets with wide price to rent ratios have been the sharpest corrections over the past year. And I completely agree. The harder they rise, the taller they rise, the harder they fall. Austin is still up 43% since March of 2020. Okay, so think about that. We're still high. Even though it's falling, we're still up there, but it's falling like a rock super fast. And so if I was to, let's put it this way, I wouldn't be buying right now. I would be watching and accumulating wealth, building up inflation hedges, building up cash, getting out of debt, and preparing right now because you have not seen anything yet. You do not want to follow the dumb money. You want to make your next purchase directly from a bank in a foreclosure sale. This is absolutely to be, I think, in my opinion, humble opinion, one of the greatest opportunities, if not the greatest opportunity in your life to build generational wealth. And so I want people to be on the sidelines, waiting patiently, because every day you get to save another dollar, it's going to be that much easier to buy not one house, not two houses, but 10 homes and build that generational wealth that you need for yourself and your family's security. All right, I hope you got something out of this. I'll put a 70% off link to the real estate crash course if you're interested. I thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel. Thank you, as always, to everyone that hits the thumbs up. The Real Estate Ninja is out.